Hi, welcome back to another Marvel review. All right, so if you don't know, welcome to my channel. Um, I usually do. I put art up. Okay, it's just a place for me to express myself on my Blue Twin Flame journey. But occasionally, when Marvel drops new projects, i.e., MCU, i.e., movies or shows. I usually do reviews um, on them, along with how they relate to where I'm at on my Blue Twin Flame journey. So, if you haven't read by the title, The Punisher One More Kill came out this week. So, I'm here to review it. So, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's on Disney Plus. Just came out this week. Go check it out. If you don't want to watch it and just want to hear this review, that's okay too. So without further ado, here's my MCU review on Punisher One Last Kill. Um, First thing I noticed is the time. It was 50 minutes, which wasn't too long, okay? But after watching it, it's like, where's more? I want more. I want more. Um, and it doesn't have to be more like a series. A series wouldn't be bad, but it definitely left me wanting more. Even if it was a little longer, a part two, you know, it I mean, it was enough to want more. I think it was beautifully done. Um, the actor who plays Frank Castle, John Bernthal, who's played Frank Castle in the last few Punisher movies or series. He was in Daredevil. Um, I believe he's going to be in um the new Spider-Man movie. Um, I don't know if he was in the Defenders or not, and I know he was in his own series on Netflix as well. So he's been playing Punisher for quite some time now. I know a lot of us know him from Walking Dead. Well, he's been in a lot of things, honestly, but most commonly known for Walking Dead. How long? Well, at least for me, anyway. How long has he been playing filmography? Um, so film. Um, Frank Castle, 2016. So 10 years now. I guess that was the first time, according to here, that he played Frank Castle. Uh, and then was he Frank Castle in any movies? Frank Castle, the Punisher. Yeah, so he's going to be in the new, brand new day. But so I think that may be the first movie that he played Frank Castle in. That's what it looks like. But sorry, I went off on a little tangent. Phenomenal actor. I think he might be my favorite Frank Castle. But in this movie specifically, let's talk about the show first. I mean, the my thoughts on the show. It was great. It left me wanting more. The first thing I noticed was the time frame. The second thing I noticed was it was MA. Um, Mature audiences only. And for this to be on the Disney Plus, it was definitely graphic. So, if you don't want your kids watching anything graphic or you don't like gore or blood, it was a lot of that in there, okay? So, spoiler alert or warning. It was violent, okay? And I think after I watched it, I did have a violent dream. There was some death in my dream, okay? Crazy work. But So yeah, but it was it was still, for it to be MA TV, a mature audience only. It was refreshing because we're not used to seeing MA. Now I don't know if Daredevil is MA, but I feel like it was more killing and more graphic than the average Daredevil show, which is probably why it was only 50 minutes. Who knows? Um, Outside of the death and the time, um, the story was told beautifully. The angles, the shots were done well. The scenes, there was a lot of action. Um, it just left me wanting more, and I think that's a good series. Leaves you wanting more. Okay. Now some of the key things I wanted to talk about regarding the show. It shows him battling mental illness. It looks like he has PTSD from being in the war, or could be, I don't know if it's schizophrenic, but he's definitely haunted by his past, seeing mental projections that aren't actually there, and he's battling with not knowing what's real and what's not. Um, except for when he's killing. Let me tell you, that goes out the window. Okay. Um, but he's definitely doing some self mutilation because of it, and he's being tormented. It's kind of sad because one, he's the things he's doing, what he's put through, but it's also sad because people actually go through this in real life. So definitely, if you want to learn more about that, please feel free to look up some research on that. See what you can do to help other people. There's definitely a lot of organizations out there for you to help if you feel called to help people in the similar situations. But in regards to come back to the show, it was interesting because it just seemed real, you know. It was a lot of themes of your past coming back to haunt you. Not just for him, because I mean he's the Punisher, and I understand that's kind of his trope, where his family died and he's looking for vengeance, you know. But the kind of theme that was shown in this film is what happens after that. So now he's dealing with the aftermath of him killing the family. The city's run amok. There are more. There's more violence going on in the city. There's more chaos. There's more fighting and violence. And then one of the families who he killed off, he left one person alive, just like they left one person alive. And they're seeking revenge on him, you know. So it's like he's being placed in these situations that he was placed in, and it's just like a continuous loop until you deal with some of these cycles. And that's what I wanted to talk about as it relates to my Blue Twin Flame journey. Some of these things that you run from or try to face head on, a lot of times when we think we're facing an issue or dealing with things ourselves, what we're doing is it's like we're all out here to be life lessons for each other. You know, it's like we're all dominoes in the same life. So like when one falls, it hits the other one to fall, you know, and our actions impact other people. And a lot of times we don't think about how our actions impact other people, how it impacts ourselves, our future selves, aspects of ourselves. That's definitely something worth noting. Also too, when you're on this blue twin flame journey, you start questioning reality, just like Frank Castle was questioning reality. What's real? Who's like, at one point, he's talking to some of his hallucinations, questioning what's real. Is this real? And on this journey that I'm on, I find myself doing the same. I found myself doing the same thing in my past. Now I know this is real, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, I'm getting used to this being real. Now, what we both have in common is I'm not seeing things. I'm I'm not seeing things that's not there. I'm seeing things that is there. But you have to deal with it the same way. How you deal with these things, like I could see something like, and when I say see things, a lot of times they're just synchronicities, coincidences. That's not so coincidence, but it's just like if I'm telling someone else, it's what can they say? What can they do? It's just like, wow, that's a coincidence, but when you see things happening so often, it's just like, okay, what's going on here? Like, I don't know if you ever seen The Truman Show or heard of The Truman Show. Go watch it if you haven't. Spoiler alert. It's about Jim Carrey playing Truman. He's been on a reality show his entire life, and he doesn't know that he's on a reality show. But he starts picking up on signs or cues that's making him like, whoa, what's this? What's going on? Things that doesn't make sense, but it's just part of his life. And sometimes when you're on a blue twin flame journey, that's how it feels. You're so synchronized with the universe that you start picking up on things, picking up on subtle cues that only you are picking up on, but then you realize it's your blue twin flame, or your blue twin flame is communicating. I know a lot of times I talk about the blue twin flames, which is their masculine and feminine energy that's communicating, and you're observing these energies communicating. You're the observer of these energies. So you have your masculine, feminine energies. You're the observer of these energies. Masculine energy being everything you conceive, everything internal. Feminine energy being what you perceive, everything external. There's an internal consciousness, there's an external consciousness. Right now, you are listening to me, you're perceiving me, you're watching me, you're listening to me, I am a perception in your feminine energy. But the things that make sense to you that I'm saying, I don't know because I don't have access to your masculine energy. Okay? But you have access to your masculine energy. And your masculine energy and your feminine energy does this cosmic dance where they're working together, and as they work together, subconscious, okay, they communicate, and you are the observer of these communications, these two energies, and what you're observing is the blue twin flame connection. Okay. So when you start observing this and seeing this, eventually you can start communicating with the subconscious. Asking questions. But it's just aspects of yourself. When you're on this journey, you're getting to know aspects of yourself, your masculine, feminine energies, your subconscious, your conscious, your body, your mind, your soul. It's all aspects of you. Okay? Your higher self, your all the above. Like literally, you can feel A through D with whatever you want, and you can choose to feel A through D with aspects of yourself. And when you find confirmation, when you find aspects of yourself, or when you get to know aspects of yourself, life becomes beautiful. Okay, where for theatrical purposes, I'm watching this, and I see he's being tormented, Frank Castle. And in a way, like it's entertaining, so it has to be dramatic. It has to be not extravagant. What is it? What word am I looking for? It has to be. Is it X? Not is dramatic. I mean, dramatic works. But it's when it's stretched out. I can't think of the word right now, but it can be um I can't think of the word. Darn. But um I can't, man, this one to my tongue too. But when you're similar aspects you start seeing, and it's not the exact same way, but it's enough for you to realize, hey, you know, but so although he's being tormented in a negative way, this is more opposite. Now you're still questioning reality because it's just like, what is this? For example, you know what? I'll share. I see certain numbers which are synchronistic to me. When I see this number, I know it's a wink from the universe. From my blue twin flame. I established that, okay? And I saw this number in the phone, and I asked someone if I can take a picture of the number because it was significant to me. Then, out the peripheral of my eye, I saw a scuba mask, okay, next to the number. But I'm more so worried about the number or concerned about the number because this number is synchronistic to me, okay? Now, I end up was helping I was at work. I'm helping two guys. This one guy, I saw the number. I took a picture of it. The second guy, he forgot his password. Okay, so he kept forgetting his password. So I'm just like, okay, let me create the password so that way you don't forget it again. Because he didn't already forgot his password. Okay. His name, like, what's your name again? Steve. His name is Steve. Okay. I'm going to create your password to be Scuba Steve. Remind you, I vaguely saw the scuba mask in my peripheral. Okay. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Why I chose Scuba Steve. But I would say no, because I was more concerned with the number. Okay. But what did cross my mind the other day, like a few days ago, I watched I was somewhere and Big Daddy was on with Adam Sandler. And remember, Big Daddy, Scuba Steve, was in Big Daddy. And this dude's name is Steve. So I'm like, okay, just make your password Scuba Steve. So when I decided a couple days later, was it just yesterday? Earlier today, I decided to, oh yeah, that picture I took. What was the name that was next to the number? Because again, I was just preoccupied with the number. That was it. I was just worried about the number. And when I saw the name next to the number, why was it Scuba Steve? Now I never read this. I didn't know, even though it's right there, I didn't know it said Scuba Steve. All I saw was a scuba mask next to it, which I didn't really pay no mind, but it was the number, this number that's significant to me that I keep seeing. It's a significant number that I know it's a wink from the universe. So for it to be Scuba Steve, which I didn't see, but I made Scuba Steve this other guy's password, whose name was Steve. Like, his name was Steve. It's just like little coincidences like that just are just winks from the universe. Crazy work, subconscious. Yes. And I feel like Frank Castle in this show because, is any of this real? Like, what's going on here? Like, am I crazy? No, you're not. You're living in this world that it's a shared world. It's a shared space that we're all sharing. And when you're on a certain frequency, the world opens up to aspects that you're not used to. Doesn't mean you, and that's why I look forward to getting used to it, okay? Because it's just like, wow, wait till this becomes a norm. What would this world be when this becomes normal? You know? It's just like living with it, living with this new aspect or outlook on life that seems crazy enough, but you know it's not crazy for you. I'm excited. I'm not scared at all, but I'm interested. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I feel like Frank Castle, you know, just fighting my way through life. But then you have to balance this with the norm or what's going on. It's I don't know how to do it. I mean, we're gonna learn it together. You know. You're gonna learn today. I don't know. But yeah, watching this show, because it ended, I mean, positively for Frank, I guess. And then we know he's going to be in brand new day. So I'm excited to see him again. But again, as it relates to this twin flame journey, the blue twin flame journey, you know, the blue twin flame journey is getting to know aspects of yourself, sharing your masculine and feminine energies, sharing a body. You're this body. Not looking externally for happiness, you know. But yeah. And I come here to share my experiences with you guys in hopes that whoever else is on this journey, you know, you'll find me. You know, like it's beautiful. It's interesting. My anniversary is coming up when I married myself, but that's for another video. So I'm going to end it here. Go watch One More Kill, The Punisher. Okay. If you had any synchronicities from this video, feel free to comment them down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. All right. Without further ado, let's give thanks to eat all the above. You can feel A through D of whatever you want, just as long as you're giving thanks. And then also, all day long we breathe unconsciously for ourselves. So let's take a moment to breathe for something else, someone else. Whether they know it or not, whether they're here or not, whether, you know. So on the count of three, we're gonna 23 on the counter. We're gonna inhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. And exhale. All right. I love you. I love me. I love us. I love we. And I will talk to you guys in another video. Bye.